everyone. In today's video we're going to be going through and making some good old Easter eggs. Now this is going to be a similar concept to how I did last year's Christmas trees. So if you've seen that video and you enjoyed that kind of festiveness for what you were able to do with that, and it is technically just a tree, so you can use that for any season that you see fitting or that you want to do for it. So I will also link that video in the description below, but it's kind of a similar basis. But without further ado, let's get into it. So this is a good project that you can utilize pretty much any kind of scrap that you have laying around. Any of these shorter boards or just littler pieces of pallet wood or planks work amazing for this project. The tools that you will need for this job, and that I will be using at least, is just a brad nailer, a chop saw, and a bandsaw. You can also use, alternatively to a bandsaw, just even a normal hand saw. You can use a coping saw, something like this little guy here. This is just a $5 tool at Harbor Freight. He works amazing in place of a bandsaw if you do not have one for a smaller project like this. You can also utilize a jigsaw or a saber saw as well, work amazing. That is a wonderful tool as well in place of a bandsaw if you do not have one. So don't feel like this project requires big and expensive tools. You can utilize some basic hand tools if you just want to have one or two of them to make, or if you're also trying to make this as another side income project for the holiday. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so first off, what you're going to want to do is use a longer plank. I got a couple here. I'm going to make a couple different sizes. And what you want to do is determine your height of the overall egg. So, looking at this piece here, we'll just signify this as the top and go from there. So starting out, take your shortest scrap piece. I'll do the pile here real quick. Alright, these are all pretty similar. Looks like this one is the winner. Alright, so you just place that on the top there. And we snag air compressor or brad nailer here. Do 3 brad nails on the top just so it doesn't wiggle on you. I always just kind of put this against the wall so that way I know what I'm working with. Alright, gonna kind of line up another one here. Overkill for sure. Alright, a little longer scrap here. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so the basic premise that I'm kind of going with here is small one on top, kind of fan it out to get a couple boards down. Bit of a longer one. Let's see. Now we'll go with this guy. Not too long, aren't you? Let's see, we'll use this guy here. Do a finishing sand on that one. Alright. And then for the bottom, you just kind of have a shorter one yet again. We'll draw an outline on this. So you just want one to kind of shrink in for the bottom piece. Alright. So, once that is all said and done, what you want to do is grab a pencil or a pen. In this case, I'll use some chalk that's readily available, and it's easy to see in the camera. So, there's a couple different ways that you can draw an egg. One of the basic principles behind an egg is you use a larger circle for the bottom. This one I'll have to kind of snug in a little bit to fit my needs. There. And then what you would normally use is a smaller circumference on top. In this instance, I think this will actually suffice. Then what you want to do, once you have those kind of going, kind of just go through and connect the lines up. You can kind of cheat in the outsides of it a little bit. I think this egg will actually have to be a little bit shorter. One of the forgiving parts of using chalk is I can just kind of wipe this off, make it a little bit more realistic if I need to, play around with it a little bit, and I can also sand and refine it a bit more as I need to with bandsaw and then some sanders that I got. So pretty much like that, you want to go through, draw out your outline. Like I said, you can just use a larger circle and a smaller circle and then connect the two. Then you have your general egg shape. And you want to go through with either your coping saw or a bandsaw, cut this out, leave a bottom piece on here. And what you want to do for kind of size parameter is you want to leave just a little bit of a gap on the bottom, doesn't have to be exact. You can even preemptively kind of mark out where you're going to cut it. You can cut off this end here and just make sure to keep this safe. So when you make your cuts, don't go through and complete the circle and cut that off, because that's going to be part of the spine that holds up the whole project, and that's going to be where your feet go. So I'm going to go through and cut this out on the bandsaw real quick. So the video ended up actually cutting out, sadly. So I went through and cut out just kind of a general egg-ish shape, and then a little bit of a smaller one, and then a lot smaller one. I actually really like kind of how this turned out. A little cartoony, not quite 100% egg-shaped, but what to get you up to date with what I've done so far is I just kind of took a remnant or piece, held it up to the one side here, made it flush, and then I just kind of eyeballed a little bit past the side of the egg. Since the egg shape can change, there's no real definitive on this measurement here for how long this needs to be, and then I just did a 45 degree and I cut it a little bit up so that way it wasn't exactly straight down and it didn't cut into this dimension at all. And I did that for each of the eggs. And you do it 4 times. The reason you do it 4 times is you take 2 of the pieces, just like I did with Christmas trees, and then you pin nail along this line here. Give you a quick example. Other benefit is if it's not an exact point, you actually have something to kind of press down against and hold firm. Give you your first initial few. That one, and nail didn't go in all the way. There we are. So what you end up with is this little piece right here. And what you want to do is take this piece and flush it up to either one side or the other. Doesn't necessarily matter. It's maker's choice at that point. If you want to hide the brad nails, you can go like this. If you don't mind and you want them to be exposed, you can go this way. It's all up in the maker's eye on how you want that to be. And then what you do is you go through on this side and you pin nail it up, make up the other 2, flip it over and do it on the other side. And it's just rinse and repeat, pin nail it up, and then we'll kind of show you here a finished look of these once I get all 3 of them made up here in the next frame. And there you have just kind of a quick little overview and tutorial. You can also draw your eggs a little bit better. I'm not super good at making exact egg shapes just yet. This is preliminary first few that I've made. I actually made one for the front door that my wife has actually been so kind as to already paint for us. So here's the wifey's rendition. So they do actually end up looking pretty good and pretty snazzy for good old Easter coming up here next week actually. So hopefully you enjoyed this little quick tutorial and just kind of a quick follow through. If you haven't seen the Christmas tree one, please do give that one a view as well. If you enjoy the look of the little Christmas trees, we'll put that one at either at the end or link it in the description down below. If you have any comments or any suggestions on the matter, or have any suggestions for upcoming events such as any holidays or any little things having to do with pallet wood, any questions on the matters of anything having to do with pallet wood as well, I'm more than happy to answer any of the comments that you guys may have down below. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. If you enjoy the content that's coming out of the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Every subscription counts. It gives you the ability to look at everything that's upcoming for the channel. Hit the notification bell if you want to get the good old notification bell going off, letting you know exactly when I upload or any new changes to the channel. Thank you so very much, and have yourself a happy Easter and a good day.